Let me read to you a passage from the Gospel of St. Luke, chapter 9, verses 43 to 45. It is the Gospel for Saturday of the 25th week of Ordinary Time. St. Luke writes, "While they were all amazed at his every deed, Jesus said to his disciples, 'Pay attention to what I am telling you. The Son of Man is to be handed over to men.' But they did not understand this saying. Its meaning was hidden from them, so that they should not understand it, and they were afraid to ask him about this saying." That's from Luke chapter 9, verse 43 to 45. We are led to think of the cross. The Gospels make it clear that our Lord repeatedly referred to his coming passion when instructing his disciples. He asked them to pay great attention to what he was saying. "Pay attention to what I am telling you. The Son of Man is to be handed over to men." It was a very distinctive doctrine. It would be an interesting study to investigate the place of suffering and death in the thought of the great originators of ideas and of philosophies and of religions in the history of the world. I do not think that many great figures could be found who foresaw and then understood sufferings and a terrible death to be the crowning moment of life. For Christ, it was by means of his sufferings and death that his special mission of renewing the world would be achieved. It was precisely in and by his sufferings and death that the sin of the world was to be expiated. Our Lord not only insisted on the divinely arranged place of the cross in his life and his mission, but he insisted on it in the life of anyone who wishes to be his disciple. It goes utterly against all that man naturally thinks, and in itself it is a mystery how suffering and death could be such a positive thing in the scheme of things. It is a spectacularly new notion in the history of ideas and religion. With good reason, then, do we read how the disciples did not understand this saying. Its meaning was hidden from them so that they should not understand it. But it is essential that the Christian penetrate into this mystery and embrace the doctrine of the cross. So then, we who aspire to follow Jesus closely must pray for the grace to appreciate this doctrine. Our Lord's crowning moment in life was when he was handed over to men. It was then that he suffered the most catastrophic of reversals in a worldly sense, and it was then that his effectiveness reached its true climax. If Christ went forward along that path, the Christian who takes Jesus for his master must regard this as in some sense his path too. He accompanies the Master along the path of the cross. It is the hardest of lessons to learn in practice and requires the action of grace. It means putting on the mind of Christ and putting away the mind of the world, a mind which Satan is very adept at making use of. We remember how when Simon Peter urged upon our Lord that he not look to terrible sufferings and death as his necessary path, our Lord openly and sternly rebuked him as speaking according to man's way. In doing that, he was taking the path of Satan. Christ addressed him as Satan. "Get behind me, Satan," he said to Peter. So then, let us in our prayer accompany our Lord especially into his passion. Many saints and holy theologians have pointed out that the Passion of Christ contains the greatest of Christian lessons, indeed all of them. We must learn to love our Lord by contemplating him especially in his passion. We must learn to be with our Lord to the end by contemplating him especially in his passion. It is love and compassion for the Master, especially in his passion, that will gradually enable us too to embrace the cross together with him. Let us spend much time with our Lord in all his references to his coming passion, and especially contemplating him during his passion. As we do, let us ask for the grace to embrace the cross with something of his mind, as well as the grace to carry this cross during our everyday life. As with the Master himself, so too with us will the cross be full of fruit